Is this a center console killer? Completely unique solutions to common center console problems, and just a whole new take on what can be done with a day boat, which is primarily focused on enjoyment and having a fun drive. Ladies and gents, this is the Saxdor 400 GTS, based on the 400 hull, which you've already seen on my channel before, but this is the center console, and this is an awesome day boat. So in this video, we're gonna do a very deep dive, and then in the next video, for those of you who are seriously interested, you're welcome to join, because we're gonna be going for a test drive out in the ocean, wide open throttle on the channel, and we're gonna do some maneuvering and parking of the vessel as well. So, welcome to Haulover Inlet, or not far from Haulover Inlet. I can't remember what this place is called. I think it's like Raccoon Island or something, because they're raccoons, I thought they were wombats, but anyway. This is a cool place. We're in America, obviously, and we've done something unique for you today. Come and have a look, because this is hopefully what you're gonna be doing on a boat like this. She's a little bit over 40 feet, but because it's so convenient, because it's so arguably practical, I see some of you seeing value in having something like this, either in addition to your big boat, or maybe completely get rid of the big boat, because we've got an awesome amount of space. We've got two cabins, we've got a toilet, a proper toilet, and a shower downstairs. And just look at it, with these drop down wings, we've got so much extra space just here, which goes all the way forward, and it completely transforms the boat when you're in social mode. And because of the design, we can get in shallow and just pick the best spots. So I think that's interesting. But before we get there, we have the opportunity. I just want to point out the hull design for what you can see. The camera might have to go down a little bit lower for you to appreciate this. They are a twin air-stepped hull. So we've got super deep V cutting action at the front, tapering back to 21 degrees of dead rise at the transom. And those air steps, if you're not familiar with those, they basically draw air underneath the boat when you are on plane, create bubbles, and break the surface tension of the boat and the water. So we can run hard, fast, and flat, and we can use less fuel and get a higher average cruising speed. We can also, depending where we are, as long as we're conscious of other people, we can always just aim the bow into some boat wash when we're in busy places and keep driving hard, instead of coming off the plane and being careful to get over it because you're worried about swamping the boat. So that's just something that's a little bit of an advantage. What I say to people, having done thousands of hours on adventure boats just like this myself, you expand your area of operations, because you end up realizing that you can go more places in more weather windows and greater weather windows. So we're running the Mercury 425s. You can get the 400Rs, they're both V10s, and you can also get the 350s, and then it comes standard with the V8 300s, which we'll touch on later in the video. They will trim further up. We've just done this for visual effect. We do have a swim ladder. I obviously don't need it because I can just step on like so. And I think it's time to come jump on board, and then we're going to give you basically an appreciation, everything that's up on deck, and then we'll go downstairs below, because underneath me here, this is a completely private sleeping cabin, and then the main cabin with head and shower is forward. But so just come around here and let me show you what is going on. This is a great, and I think also a stylish solution. So we do have fender storage on one side, but I like how they've wrapped the flexi teak around here to hide some cabinets. This is actually a hot and cold swim shower in here, and on the other side we have our shore power connection and our fresh water in. This is our fender locker here. We get 3 big fenders, and we can also get lines in here should we need, but we can also store extra fenders forward. So if you're in Europe and you need to store extra fenders because you can do the Mediterranean style mooring, I believe that's where you should put them. Underneath me just here is 2 shallow storage areas. The reason why they are shallow is because if you want 240 or 110 power on this boat to run a gyro or air conditioning, which you can do, it is an option, they actually do it via lithium on this boat. So you can get a 2 or a 4 pack lithium battery pack, which is underneath here, and then the associated chargers and inverters, I should say, to generate that power for you. So therefore you have this shallow storage, which is perfect for extra lines and bits and pieces, and you have one on either side. So we actually have another one under my feet where I am right now. And then in here is technical access. I said before, behind here is the shore power and the water in. And here's your barbie. So we've just got cold water. We've got a single canyon, a little bit of workspace there, but that's neat because you're in the fresh air, no smells inside. And then when it's not in use, this becomes a nice seating area for enjoying this space. And just imagine how many people you can get on this boat, because with these wings down, I'm just going to paste this out for you. So if I start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, probably 5 meters, but it's awesome. I particularly like how it's all on the one level. I know on some other boats that you've seen me test, they turn these into seats, and that is a clever solution, but this just makes it into a full-on party boat. And extending this space, if you are setting up for a bit of a picnic, everyone's sitting around having a meal, or people can be doing different things. So if you've got a big family, if you want to take out multiple families, perhaps a layout like this will be more suitable. But just come in here and let's get a feel for this. Essentially, this table lowers electrically because whilst I'm in lunch mode at the moment, you just have to press a button. It's back there, and this will lower down, and then these cushions will actually pull across, and this turns into one massive sun lounge. But when you are doing the lunching thing and you need to get up and go for a pee, you just do that if your belly's too big, and then boom, it's still functional. As long as you're not too big, you can still get out that corner, but the person in the middle is going to love you a lot more. This is going to be one of the top features about this boat, and I think a lot of factories are going to copy this in the future. I'm going to get back to that. It's really, really interesting. Underneath the overhang here, we've got glass. It is a tinted glass, so it's knocking a little bit of the heat out. We've got down lights over the table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. So that's good for eating of an evening. You've got drink holders on either side. So 2, 4, 6, 8 in total in that location. And then we have the aft sun lounge, and you'll probably get 3 blokes, 4 girls, no worries out here, I think. This is the safety and the operation for the wings. There is actually a manual release to unlock it on both sides, and then you hold your finger down on the safety before you can press down, so it doesn't allow you to operate it without having that safety, because you definitely wouldn't want any kids getting their fingers or toes in between there. That'd be a big whoopsie. So this is actually the door to go into the cabin. I might do this a little bit later, but there's a sneak peek. We'll come back to this because that's a fantastic feature, and possibly it's going to be the reason why some of you will opt for a boat like this as opposed to a different size. We've got a reversing or an aft facing camera flagpole on the top. This styling has been well done. I like the grab hold just here, and see how we have all of this space. So if you're in lunch a lot mode or lunch preparation mode, you've got multiple options to move around the boat, and someone can probably even move behind you when it is loaded up with friends. And we have a second cooking option here. This time it's the Kenyan hot plates. We've got 2 hot plates. You've got the controls there. They're going to be operated off the lithium, and that's some lights, some pop-up lights. That's cute, isn't it? That'll be nice of an evening. And then this is Oh, this is going to be, come and have a look. This will be for champagne. This is an ice chest, but it's got a little plug there because this is your primary sink. This does have hot and cold. And then we've actually got lots of refrigeration because we've got, this is our rubbish bin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sinks. Not sinks, what am I saying? Drawers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawers here. And I think you would use this as the esky, because you would put ice in there, you've got the cutting board, and then we've got the actual fridges in here. So 1, 2 ice solution just here. So I think that's more than adequate for a full-on day boat. That's pretty cool. Now, did I forget anything? We've got some more downlights up here. You may notice we've got the roof completely retracted at the moment. It is lovely. It's electrically operated from the Helm. We'll get to that in a second. Before I do, I just want to operate this, because this is just such a cool solution. We will do this in more detail on the sea trial, next video coming up. That is a game changer. It's simple, it's very convenient, and it allows you in a colder climate or in a sudden downpour to have immediate protection and turn this area into a little bit of a cocoon. Now, it will get hot in here if you're in Thailand or Miami. Once you've got this closed, it's going to stop wind coming in this area. It feels like you are in a cabin boat. So you are going to need to activate the air conditioning or open a hatch down below to allow some through flow with that door open. So those are the solutions we discovered today. Finally, you can always just pop the roof, which gives you the most amount of air. However, if you're closing it for a downpour, that's not an option. So just think about how that's going to work for you, where you are in the world. Typical Saxdor racy seats, so they're all pretty comfortable. You do have a good amount of lower back support, and you've also got some side support here if you're doing a bit of sporty driving. I like this grab hold just here, feels very natural. Same again on that side, and we have another one here, so passengers are going to be feeling well secure. All these seats will move backwards and forwards, but then you've got the flip up bolster to create a bit of extra space. We do also have flip down footrest. So this one, boom, will flip down just here. You just got to deploy this from memory. Yeah, that's right. Deploy that. And then we've got a flip up footrest just here. So that's got, I think, a couple of different settings from memory. One thing I'm not too crash hot on is this little step down here. I found myself, it's only 1 inch, it's not the end of the world, but I found myself falling down that, and then when I wanted to spread my legs and I was on a different height. So maybe that could be rejigged. I do understand the point behind it. It's for tall blokes. I'm not tall, so I don't think about that. It's to give them a little bit of a improved eye line out through the glass. So there is a functional reason why. Come in and have a look at the dash. There's some cool stuff going on here. So 2 drink holders, proper size. You can put a tinny with a cooler in there, no worries. This is cool. I have never used one of these controls for the trim tabs. I'm not sure if it's trim tabs or interceptors on this one. This is a completely new device to me. We have been using it today. It's bow down, bow up, and you can lean the boat by doing this oscillation movement here, but you can also use these buttons to do individual control, but it's very natural. So if you're driving fast and your focus is on all the boat traffic, like right now, not that I would drive fast through here, you can just keep your eye line where it should be, and your hand just needs to drop down, and you will feel which control your hand is landing on. It's very obvious because of the texture and the shape of each control. It's either going to be the joystick, the bow thruster, or the trim tabs, and it's a real great improvement for enjoyment of the drive and obviously getting a more refined trim. The throttle, typical Mercury throttles, nothing exciting or new there. Blower operation, air conditioning, twin SIMRAD, flat screens, flush with the panel just here. And then we've got all of our boat systems, including roof operation, bilge, and anchor up and down is all here. Another thing I noticed today, the windscreen wiper has 3 different speed settings. Yes, that's great. It's been so annoying on some of these boats when they just have one speed setting and you're like, it's not raining that hard, dude. Like, and you got to always play with the damn thing. So that's great, really, really useful. Horn operation, searchlight, and all of the other underway lights, underwater lights, courtesy lights are all operated from here. Starting the engines is slightly different on this boat. You actually have a start-stop. You activate the power here, then you go from here, but you can still do the button press just here, and your safety is located there. Your engine batteries are in this location, so that's nice and simple and keeps things logical. And you've also got a manually operated bilge pump just here. And then in the middle of the boat, we've got this massive hatch just underneath here, 2 gas struts. I wish it had a small ladder for my short legs, but some of you tall blokes may not matter for you. That is where the gyro would be located if you option it, but it's also a huge storage space. So lots and lots of long-term storage items or other bits and pieces can go in there should you need. We've actually got access now behind the panels here, and the fuel system is on the port side, and the fuel in should be on the port side, because boom, boom, there you go, single tank on this one. Going forward is most easily done on the port side, but you can also go forward on the starboard side, but it's a different height. So as you would probably have seen on previous Saxdors. So if you were stepping off on a fixed high dock, I'd actually step off here, because I've got the most easiest way by coming up these stairs here. I can hold onto the roof and step off. So that's one use for it. But what it's actually doing is giving us the height for the toilet and the shower downstairs. So we need that height in order to make that work. But it obviously gives us a beautiful bow lounging space, which is adequate, and it's enough. I know a lot of the American boats or your sports cruisers are going to have much bigger, wider bows, but then the compromise is they are going to displace a lot more water when they hit a wave, and so they're going to have a different performance characteristics compared to something like this. So you do you just got to work out what's important for you. So there is a hatch, forward-facing hatch, just accessible under here. That's an escape hatch, but also ventilation. Got storage underneath there, probably good for extra life jackets and some safety gear. Drink holders here and here. You do actually have grab holds tucked in behind the seat here, but it's essentially the same grab hold that we see on this side. And then I'm pretty sure you can option this with a drop down table should you wish. And I've also seen fridges up in the bow, but don't hold me to that because I haven't seen it on this one. You can get sunshades forward and aft, so you can completely bathe the boat from front to back in sun protection. And the anchoring system on these boats is great. It's functional, and it's basically a gas strut deployed bow roller, which if you just have a look over the side, it's deployed now because we are on the bow anchor, and it works. So you don't have to option it with a flexi teak. That's an extra, it's up to you. We've got the big speakers. These are actually courtesy lights just here. There are covers that go over all of these seats. You don't need to remove any of these cushions from front to back. They can all stay on board for the day, and you just pull the covers off. And I would actually stow the covers underneath this seat here. It seems like a logical place. This seat just lifts up. This is a deep storage in here, and it seems like, because it's not the easiest one to get into, seems like the most logical place to throw those covers in if you need to use them. Now we've got to check out the cabin, because this is just so cool. You can air condition this space. Leave my sunnies up here. I think, Sarah, I might grab that camera off you. Let me lie down first so everyone can get a feel for the space. Oh, I'm 5'7". Okay, so this is how much space you've got, and give me the camera, because you've actually got quite pleasant views through these windows. They've all got blinds, but the blinds pull up like that. So, and then you've also got the option to open that little hatch, and same again on the other side for airflow. We've got these neat little storage spaces running up and down the side. This boat does have air conditioning, so it is possible. But I think for a couple of kids, this is going to be awesome. You've got lights down here. It's all very cool. And it also serves, where I put my sunnies? I think it also serves very well as a toy storage location. So if you are going to have inflatable toys, boards, that sort of stuff, as long as they pack down to a suitable size and can fit in this cabin, I think that's a wonderful solution to those of you who just want to keep the forward cabin neat and tidy, because you are going to overnight on it, and then this space is only perhaps going to be an occasional sleeping cabin. So that's interesting. More big speakers. This stereo system pumps, by the way, just there and there. And you can enclose, yes, this slides forward, but I would assume you can also fully enclose this with some sort of clear structure, but because I'm just determining that from the design and the lip underneath the roof just here. Haven't really spoken too much about the roof, have I? So let me just jump up and explain a couple of things. This design, pass me the camera. We were getting under the bridges, no worries, here in Florida today, because they're not overly high, these boats, but you do have to factor in the radar mast, you've got the SIMRAD, you've got the all-round white light and your VHFs and your flagpole. So the VHFs and the white light can be folded down, but the radar mast is a bolt-on structure, so you've got to factor that in for any bridge clearances. There is another cover that will go over this electric sunroof, and if you're in a place like Australia, you should protect it because this material won't last forever, but it is a great feature. And then the design of the roof with this gutter just here, it's going to catch all the water, but it's particularly useful as a grab hold. So I think that's something to focus your attention on. Are you going to put roof racks up here like all the Axopars? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. I feel like you've got options to stow toys and boards throughout the vessel and keep it clean looking. So, you could lie some boards here, and you can also put stuff down there and down there. So jump in the comments if you agree or disagree, but I'm not sure that's necessary on this boat. Come on down, let's have a look at the accommodation. Locks in there, that's how you operate it. Come on downstairs. There's some cool things going on down here for the sort of type of vessel that we are on. It's not perfect, and I'll tell you a couple of things that I'm not super keen on, but I love the lights, I love these big windows, all of them have got blinds. We have a forward-facing hatch which allows air to come down here. We've got some coat hooks, decent beds. I'll just lie on this bed now for perspective. Okay, look at this. My feet are on the end. So that's how much space we've got available to us. We've got some reading lights at either end, reasonably rounded surfaces. We do have some buckets or bins, if you like, for throwing your phones and things. We've got a charging point here because we've got 12 volt and 110 or 240 just in there. Our primary switch panel is hidden behind there, so you can see you've got all your pencil fuses. Everything can be operated from that location. This is cool. If you just have a look, this little seat for obviously putting your shoes on will slide and get out of the way to give yourself a little bit more stand-up room for me, maybe not for you. So hanging storage here for jackets. We've got a bunch of shelves behind here for bits and pieces, and then we also have a proper head, full stand-up mirror as you saw. Just get the camera in there and let everyone have a look. Proper head, wet area with a shower, storage behind the sink, access behind the helm, electric operation for the holding tank and the flushing toilet, and even behind, actually let me just show you these stairs just here. Behind these stairs we can utilize them. They advertised this initially as a cabin. I would not sleep down here, but it's a great storage space. So luggage, if you're flying to the boat, access into the bilge, as you might be able to see as well. And we can also access the bow thruster and the bow thruster battery underneath this bed, which I didn't point out before, just under here. So yeah, that's great. I just wish, I said this to them on the earlier model, that they would piss these stairs off and make them in teak, because they're sharp, and I'm not a huge fan of sharp edges when I'm coming down a companionway stairs. I think it's dangerous, so I'm not crash hot on that. But for the price of the boat and for everything that is happening here, I'll let that one slide, because I can just use my head when I'm going down, but I think you should be careful as well. It's really fun when you're hanging out here in Florida. There's so many little airplanes going overhead selling stuff with massive signs. When the wind blows really hard, it's like this one right now, it looks like they're not even moving. Sometimes it looks like they're stationary. Actually, just pop the camera up there and just show everyone. It's so funny. It's like he's not going anywhere. It must be some old, it looks like an old World War I airplane. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'm here to give you a conclusion on this very fine vessel, which I enjoyed. So, who do I think is going to see the best value out of owning a 400 GTS? I think it's a driver's boat. So it's definitely someone who wants to own or operate. I think you're going to see a huge amount of value, whether you are running it in the tender function or just want a cool, fun, nice boat that's relatively simple for you to drive, but capable enough for you to take lots and lots of friends. I think if you're that person, you're going to see some great value. Definitely a hot climate boat. It clearly lends itself to hot summers, nice countries. No, they're all nice countries. Countries with nice weather is what I'm trying to explain. However, because we can option it with a diesel heater at the helm, because we can slide those, whatever we're calling those side door thingamajiggies. I don't know if anyone's made up a name for them yet. If you have, please leave it in the comments. We can extend our season for the 3 people on those front seats. Not these guys, they're gonna tough it out. So that's great. And without a doubt, it's day boat people. You know, people who are stepping down from a larger boat or stepping up from a smaller boat are all going to see some great value in this boat. Don't misinterpret me in my video title. It's not replacing fishing center consoles. This is clearly not a fishing boat, nor is it trying to be. This is a boat that's appealing to those of you who have bought center consoles or would have looked at center consoles in the past, but used it as a luxury day boat. I think it's those people who are going to see great value in one of these. If you just want to keep fishing, go and look at a fishing boat. This is probably not your cup of tea. This is more ordering fish. So feedback on the design, it's definitely the protection at the helm. I haven't seen anyone doing a sliding solution like that. I think it's great, considering this is the prototype. It worked, it's functional. I know it's only going to get better because Saxdor's the kind of company that continuously asks for feedback. They're watching all of these videos, they're reading your comments, and they ask me every single month how and what they can learn. So of all the companies, these guys are probably number one in terms of being onto it. It's very noticeable. So yeah, I think that's it. It's just a great combination of a center console and a luxury day boat, and it's fun and it's cool and it's sexy. Things for you to consider if you are ordering one of these, it's the engines. Do you go with the standard V8 300s? Probably not. I think most of you would probably want to go minimum V10. However, do you need the 425s or do you need the 400Rs? Also probably not, because if you haven't loaded it up with the lithium, if you haven't loaded it up with the AC, and particularly if you haven't loaded it up with the weight of a gyro, do you need all this horsepower? So talk to your dealer, ask yourself the question, and hopefully the answer will come. Look at what we're doing. Look at where we are right now. Do we need a gyro? No, is the answer. It's got relatively good inherent form stability already, but we can come in shallow and close and get into all the fun spots and stay out of the boat wash or out of the weather if we choose. So just consider that and whether that's going to be something for you. Bow thruster, yep, definitely get it. Joystick, consider it. It's a lot of money. Everything's sort of exy these days. only really if you want the ability to hold station on a regular basis and operate the boat solo. If you've got good hand-eye coordination and you're fine using throttles and bow thruster, maybe you don't need it. But if you're new to a boat like this and you just want to make everything much, much simpler, then maybe you will see some great value. And yeah, I think that's it. Those side doors, they are an optional extra. They're not extras. They're just, they're not included or standard is what I was trying to say. So performance feedback, I will touch on that in the next video. Competitors that you may wish to consider, I will also touch on that in the next video. It's a beautiful day here in Florida, but we have got some consistent wind from the south. So we had wonderful conditions for testing a boat. Basically, we were able to put it into some chop and run it on a few different angles, and also practice parking it at the marina with a cross breeze. So that's coming up next. You've been watching Dan's Boat Life. Love you lots. Coming from Florida. See you in the next video. Thanks, guys.